offensively and to get the car in gear and get it moving full speed ahead.
Nice way to start the second half with Fisher draining a three-pointer on LA's first attempt of the half.
Yeah, but you're right. It's got to start from the defense, and they've got to contest some of these wide-open Spurs shots.
David Robinson on the nice feed from Tim Duncan, scoring his first two of the night. Robinson went scoreless in the first half, and now he has two on the nice assist from Duncan.
Now, how many 6'11" guys can dribble, penetrate, and dish down and get a great assist? You just saw the one who could do it, Tim Duncan.
Shaquille O'Neal missing on the running hook shot. Tim Duncan got a little finger to the face. No harm, no foul. Parker almost had that one slapped away, and now Robinson from the baseline. Got it.
Well, just in the first minute and a half of this third quarter, I have not seen an increase in defensive intensity on the Lakers. They're still giving the Spurs pretty much whatever they want, and that is a recipe for disaster.
Shaq moving down inside against Robinson, and Duncan trying to help out on the defense. Picks up the foul.
Well, the intent is clear from the Lakers offensively. Get the ball into the big guy and just let him get things done. And that is exactly what he is attempting to do in his first couple of possessions. Third foul on David Robinson.
Well, I thought it was Duncan who came over to help out, but they called the Admiral with it. And Shaquille O'Neal shooting the ball fairly well from the free throw line so far tonight.
And so far this year and in the playoffs, he's improved. I mean, don't look at the form. The form is ugly as anything, but the ball is going into the basket more times than not, and that's a plus for Shaquille and the Lakers.
Came into the night shooting 61.5% during the postseason from the foul line. And here's Duncan on the baseline. Little hook does not get the roll.
But again, pretty passive defense by the Lakers, and I'm really surprised at that because they've been through this enough times to know that the defense is going to win it for them.
Kobe moves into the lane, creates some contact. Look at Shaq underneath. Oh.
Yeah, you're right, though. Kobe did get into the paint and create some contact and no whistle, and Shaq was able to clean up the rebound.
Shaq with 22 now. Here's Jackson, steps back for three. Got it! Steven Jackson may have finally shot himself out of the little slump he's been in so far in the series.
And what a plus that will be, because you really can't expect Bruce Bowen to play the second half the way he did the first half, and Steven Jackson becomes a very important ingredient.
And Derek Fisher trying to make a move, picks up the offensive foul, and Phil Jackson can only watch.
Pretty good defense right there by Tony Parker, anticipating where Derek Fisher's going to go. He got there, folks. He had his feet set, and Derek Fisher created the contact. That's a good call and a terrific defensive move by Tony Parker.
Tony Parker, I mean, got a lot of great years ahead of him. Quick.
Just learning, just young in the game and learning how to play that point position.
And there he is with the step-back jumper, and Tony Parker now has 14. He had 12 in the first half, and now it is a 19-point lead by the San Antonio Spurs.
And you know, it was important for the Lakers to come out and take the initiative and to knock that lead down in the first couple of minutes, and what's happened is just the opposite. The Spurs have come out and taken the initiative and increased the lead.
Shaquille O'Neal getting great position on David Robinson and dropping in the little jump shot from in close. He has 24. And Parker again coming up shooting. Left that one off the front of the rim short. Robert Horry making a move. Had it slapped away, and it'll be Lakers ball. Horry thought he might have been fouled.
Well, you're seeing the Spurs with pretty good intentions defensively. Anytime there's a penetrator, there's weak side defensive help. And that time you saw it with Duncan and David Robinson sagging into the paint to pick up Robert Horry. You're not seeing that down the other end of the floor with the Lakers on defense.
Horry, open three-pointer from the near wing, didn't get it to drop. So inside of 8 minutes to play here in the third quarter, and the Spurs trying to add to a 17-point edge. Bowen remaining hot, this time inside the arc.
But Robert Horry, very passive defensively on that screen, did not step out to cover Bruce Bowen at all and left him wide open for a jump shot.
Spurs equal their biggest lead at 19. Shaq.
And look at how aggressive San Antonio is defensively.
And inside goes Kobe Bryant to Shaq, who is fouled and could have been either against David Robinson or Tim Duncan.
Yeah, but you know what? I like what the Spurs are doing. Look at how aggressively Bruce Bowen is playing Kobe. He's doing a terrific job. And the Spurs are contesting everything that the Lakers are trying to do, whereas down the other end, the Lakers are very passive defensively and not contesting what the Spurs want to do.
David Robinson picks up number 4. Now, and Shaquille O'Neal going for points 25 and 26.
Now, I'm sorry, Eric, but I said early on, you know, if I were the Spurs, I would double Shaq all the time and double Kobe and make someone else beat me. They have not done that, but it's worked out pretty well for them so far.
It certainly has. Shaq with 25, but his team still down 18. Now Tim Duncan against Horry, now double team.
They're not really a double team, a passive double team. And Brian Shaw reaches in at the last minute. I guess they're going to call the foul on Horry.
Horry came down hard across both his wrists there.
Yeah, but I think that, you know, they could have just as easily called the foul on Brian Shaw. Just letting the ball get into Tim Duncan so easily on a post-up situation, and then let him dictate to the defense what he's going to do as opposed to the defense dictating to him. You're not going to be successful if you're going to let Tim Duncan dictate offensively. Look at Kevin Willis.
Kevin Willis.
89 years of him, or whatever he is, 40-something years old, and at the end of the half, makes the running three-pointer from half court.
His only points of the game in that one, and a big one it was, gave them a 3-point lead at the half and a little bit of momentum.
Oh, absolutely. A big momentum for the Spurs going into halftime. But he has not made an appearance yet in this game because the Spurs big men have been pretty effective.
Spurs up by 20 now, their biggest lead, and a hard foul. Bowen on Kobe Bryant.
You know, I say the Spurs big men have been effective. They haven't put up huge totals. Duncan and Robinson have not put up huge points, but they've gotten the job done, and things are working. So the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And Kobe Bryant, a rare miss for him, a guy coming into the night in the postseason shooting 87% from the foul line.
Yeah, I think you're seeing these two guys, Kobe and Shaq, feeling that they have to do it all. And Shaq getting the rebound off a rare Kobe miss and putting it home. But there's a lot of pressure on Kobe and Shaq because they feel as if they have got to get it done by themselves.
Shaq now with 27. Here's Malik Rose holding way out high. Parker, little floater. In and out. Ball fell to the floor harmlessly as some bodies went flying, but here come the Lakers back the other way. Kobe spinning across the lane, somehow got up and over everybody and got it to fall.
That's a tough move, and Bruce Bowen did as good a job defensively as could be done, forcing Kobe to make a couple of moves and to take away the baseline, force him into the middle, and Kobe still converted.
Rose. Nail again. Let him take that shot most of the night if he wants it.
Now, he can make that shot, but if you're going to give up something, I'd just as soon give up a perimeter Malik Rose jump shot.
And Kobe is complaining to the official about the aggressive defense that Bruce Bowen has been playing on him all night. Bowen tapped that one away. Here's Kobe.
Shot clock.
Has that one blocked by Bowen. And Bowen will get the layup on the other end.
Now, good double on Kobe with the shot clock going down. They blocked the shot. Nobody back on defense for the Lakers. It just seems as if the Lakers are not into this thing enough mentally.
Horry almost lost control of it going down the lane. Shaquille O'Neal throws the right hand out and knocks Malik Rose down and picks up his third foul.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, that was a pretty good flop by Malik Rose. But it worked. It was effective, and he drew the offensive foul.
18-point differential right now. The Spurs leading the Lakers. Kobe Bryant trying to get something done. Couldn't get it done against Bruce Bowen's defense. The Spurs up by plenty. We'll be back.
You can't stop congratulating us.
I'm hearing all about that, and I love Liverpool fans. Believe me, I do.
You're doing a great job.
America is not set up for producing players and pushing them through a system.
Your comments are always fantastic.
I thought you were a professional, Steady. How could you tamper with the rules like that?
The ideal combination.
Hey, it's live television. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Press Pass, every Friday on ESPN.
They don't go easily. Steve Nash checking in. Nash defending against McGinnis. Lost the ball with Van Exel. Plenty of time for the Mavericks. And here's the alley-oop to the Nowitzki.
It's like hitting a golf shot fast, really fast.
Lemieux got it in. Morrow trying to back it up. Shot saved. Jaguar. Oh, my gosh. There are still miracles left. The signal is no goal. Jaguar right to left.
Corey Sharp ever have an outstanding game. Over this red line change.
Gomez breaking in. Shot score. That's all it takes for Scott Gomez to give the Devils the 1-0 lead. Before left in regulation is Soleil. Soleil drops it. Still looking in front. Sean Leclerc. Score! Power play goal!
Let ESPN take you on an undersea adventure on Diving Passport. Explore a world beneath the waves off the most exotic ports of call. Diving Passport, only on ESPN.
Time now for the results of our ESPN Deportes and ESPN.com poll. Which Laker reserves must come up big in Game 2 tonight against the Spurs? Brian Shaw winning by an overwhelming margin on Deportes.com. And on the North American side, in the US of A, Brian Shaw, the winner there again. Shaw, 2 of 4 shooting for the game, only 4 points so far. Kareem Rush, Samaki Walker, and Mark Madsen bringing up the rear.
Well, you know what, Eric? The answer really should be none of the above.
That's
because
true.
no one's really stepped up to help Kobe and Shaq so far tonight.
Kobe and Shaq have combined for 43 of their 56 points for the Lakers, and so far not nearly enough. An 18-point differential. It was a 17-point differential at the half, and the Lakers have not really been able to make it up.
No, and they again, I'll harp on it some more, but they just haven't gotten the job done defensively. They haven't been aggressive on the defensive end. They just haven't taken it to the Spurs defensively. They haven't taken the Spurs out of what they want to do offensively. And to win a game like this, in a series like this, you really got to have the defensive intensity.
Bowen gets it on the baseline to Duncan, and Duncan knocks that one down. Tim Duncan now with 12 points. Has a couple free throws in that basket here in the second half. And the Spurs again match their biggest lead at 20. Robert Horry for 3. Left that one short. Rebound is cleared by the Spurs.
No Lakers on the offensive boards at all. They're not getting any extra shots except what Shaq can pick up.
Bowen put it on the floor, and you could hear, oh, you couldn't believe that the bank was closed on that one. Did everything but fall down for him. Here's Shaq against the much smaller Malik Rose inside, and Rose trying to hold his position against a guy weighing more than 100 pounds than he does.
Well,
no chance.
Malik Rose is trying to do everything he can to offset Shaq, and it's a losing battle. I mean, you're right. He's giving up so much weight and size, but he is trying to be a little cute with it and do different things against Shaq, and that's exactly what you have to do. But in turn, he's picked up his 4th personal foul. It could have been 5 or 6 because he bought a couple of offensive on Shaq as well.
And Kevin Willis in there to try to put a body on Shaquille O'Neal. Give him another 6 fouls to use if they need to. Kobe, turn around and rebound, cleared by Willis.
Yeah, makes his presence felt right away, getting a strong rebound in traffic.
Willis in his 42nd year out of Michigan State. It seems that way. I mean, he has been around the game for a long time. Still designs his own clothes, the nice leathers and everything, and then some really nice big men's designs. I could never wear his stuff, though, because I'm not a big guy. Here's Duncan, and Shaq trying to flop a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know, when you got a 7'1" guy weighing 800 pounds trying to flop, it just doesn't carry. The official is not going to buy into that because there's no way anything but a tank can knock him down.
Ginobili gets it back outside. Bowen, another 3. You bet.
Get a fire hose and cool him down, somebody.
Bruce Bowen with 6 3-pointers. That's his first triple here in the second half. The Spurs now with their biggest lead at 23. Shaw with the open look. Did not get that one to fall.
And the Lakers will not get back into this game with Brian Shaw taking 3 pointers.
Bowen got away from Kobe, and Kobe had held him up a little bit, and Bowen looked at the official. You're not going to give me one there? Guess not. Here is Parker. Now time, of course, on the side of the Spurs, and Parker picks up a whistle as he drives the lane. He'll go to the line for a couple, and you know, Lakers are 3-time defending champions, and they can't be liking too much the way this thing is transpiring here late in the third quarter.
Well, they can't be in a position where they pick their spots. They've got to come out all out and play on the defensive end and take it to the Spurs and be the aggressors. And they have not done that at all in this game. Certainly not defensively. Offensively, the only thing that they're doing aggressively is getting it into Shaq and watching him go to the basket one-on-one. None of the other players have forced the action offensively.
Kevin Willis, the oldest active player in the league, going to the bench. The Spurs in control.
ESPN goes spanning the globe this May to bring you the world of sports. The NBA keeps slamming and jamming when the march to the finals continues with playoff action. The UEFA Champions League concludes the march to glory with the championship game from Old Trafford. The most famous race of them all is the Indy 500 from the Brickyard in Indianapolis. The Stanley Cup Finals begin in the coolest game on ice, the NHL on ESPN. Dutch football plays on from the fields of Holland. The legends of cricket highlight the game's classic matches. The rugged play of the Scottish football season continues. Great action this May on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
The champions of the world on ESPN. Horse racing's Triple Crown continues with the Preakness and the Belmont Stakes. The superstars of the NBA battle for the championship in the NBA Finals. And the NHL plays for the Stanley Cup. The champions of the world on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Thanks for making me a fighter. Makes me that much stronger. Makes me work a little bit harder. Makes me that much wiser. Thanks for making me a fighter. Maybe a little bit faster. Maybe a little bit bigger. Makes me that much smarter. Thanks for making me a fighter.
Join ESPN as our NBA playoff coverage continues. Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and the Spurs travel to L.A. to face Shaq, Kobe, and the Lakers in Game 3 of the Western Conference semifinal, live right here on ESPN. The Lakers have a lot of rebounding to do, barring a minor miracle and a great comeback in the last about 15 minutes or so of this one tonight. The Lakers will fall down love 2 and take it back to Los Angeles, the Staples Center, and try to get back into this series.
Oh, there you see Greg Popovich talking to the official. I don't know what he's got to complain about. Things have been going right for him this year, and that official is Bernie Fryer, who once played in the NBA for the Seattle Sonics years ago.
A little trivia.
You don't see too many referees who have played in the league, and I believe there should be more of them, because a player has a former player has a feel for the game and the momentum of the game and the way the game should be called. The only other ex-player I think refereeing is Leon Wood.
Kobe exploding down the lane to pick up the foul, and who do they get this time?
Looks like Bruce Bowen. He's shaking his head a little bit, but Bruce Bowen's in a pretty good zone right now. He's in one of those zones where you can do no wrong.
Kobe 20 shots so far in this one.
Yeah, that's a lot of shots. 7 for 20. Hasn't been a great shooting night for Kobe. He struggled from the line.
Yet to hit a free throw.
Well, he struggled from the line, which is
really
very unusual for him.
Kobe with 16 points so far, and that's his 3rd consecutive missed free throw. And he finally knocks one down. He had hit his first 2 and then had missed 3 in a row before nailing that one. 81-57, 24-point San Antonio advantage. Now LA trying to step up the pressure on defense. Ginobili, skip pass. Bowen, another 3. Oh!
He should bottle this game and try to resurrect it whenever he needs a big game, because he is in a zone tonight.
Ginobili fouled hard going up for the basket. He will go to the line to shoot a couple.
And the Spurs had the numbers. They came down on a good fast break. Got it to Ginobili. Good hard foul by Gennaro Pargo. And that's exactly what you need to do. Hard foul. Go for the ball. Nothing dirty, nothing unusual. Go for the ball. Hard foul. Don't give up an easy layup.
I'm wondering if the officials say, I think, and they did get him for not going for the ball. That's a flagrant, they call.
And I think they call that a little too quickly. I mean, you're taking the game away from the players that way. This is playoff basketball. It's supposed to be tougher and rougher and more physical. That's the way the game is. Bruce Bowen in a zone that shooters can only dream of. He is just catching and firing and getting nothing but net.
21 of his 27 points have come from beyond the arc, and Madsen sticks up a left arm and knocks the player Ginobili again out of bounds.
That's another one, Eric, that I don't agree with, and I know Phil doesn't agree with it because he's old school and played the game and was a physical player in his own right. You've got to allow a little more physicality in a playoff situation, because the games mean so much that guys are going to come out and play that much harder and get more physical. And you've got to give that some leeway. And again, I think a former player understands that and goes with the flow of the game, and I think that's how it should be officiated.
It is a 30-point contest right now. Make it 31 as Ginobili hits another free throw. And Ginobili has 16. Lakers up 88-57. Spurs up, rather. And Bowen gets another block out on the perimeter.
That's a couple of blocks. That's at least 3 blocks that Bowen has had on Kobe Bryant jump shots. And Kobe does not experience that very often.
Willis.
Wow. Everything's falling for San Antonio. Kevin Willis lost control of that ball on the way up and still made the jump shot.
Steve Smith cannot believe it. And Kobe trying for the 3. That's a little long. Shaq up over everybody for the offensive rebound. Nice feed inside to Kobe, who goes up in the land of the Giants, and they'll get either Willis or Duncan for the foul. I believe they got Duncan.
Now, this is a tough pill to swallow for the Lakers, who knew coming into this game they needed to win this one. And this was an important game for the Lakers to prove that they could win with a depleted bench and with some starters and some key players injured, and they just didn't come out with the intensity. Jerry Buss, the owner of the Lakers, cannot believe what he is seeing. People in Lakerland are not used to seeing these kinds of performances in playoff situations.
Up by 31 is San Antonio. Ginobili fakes from 3, drives inside and picks up a foul. And will it be against Shaq? If so, no, it's on Kobe Bryant. I was going to say if so on Shaq, that would have been number 5 for him. Nice ball fake there by Manu.
But you know what, Eric? I mean, just look at that play as a microcosm of the game. Ginobili had a wide open 3, passed it up, cruised into the paint, and got things done in the paint, doing whatever he wanted to do offensively. He dictated what he wanted to do offensively rather than the defense dictating to him what they wanted him to do.
Ginobili with his first free throw miss of the game, and Kobe out on the near wing trying to create some space off the dribble. Picks up another foul, I believe, on Bruce Bowen, and that would be number 4 on Bruce.
And the last thing he wants to do is come out of this game the way he is flowing offensively. And you see the Laker bench, not a whole lot of happy faces there, and not enough players in uniform on that bench either.
You could field a team with the guys in street clothes, almost. And Kobe going to shoot another couple. That was just his 20th point of the night, and now he's going for point number 21. We've just been informed that Bruce Bowen, a team record for made 3-pointers in a playoff game. He has 7 and counting. Remember, we still have a quarter left.
Yeah. And you know what? His teammates should treat him as if he were a pitcher in the midst of a no-hitter. Stay away from him. Don't talk to him. Leave him alone. Don't do anything to get him out of the zone that he is in offensively.
I mean, the basket must look like, one of those big trash cans to him, the way he's been teeing it up from beyond the arc, looking so confident and really knocking it down. Again, we talked about his shooting woes earlier in his career, and he has become an excellent shooter from beyond the arc now.
Yeah, they say when a player's having a bad shooting night, he can't throw it in the ocean. Well, guess what? Bruce Bowen can throw it in the ocean and has done it virtually every time he's tried.
And the one he missed was not that far offline.
That's right, and he was kicking himself for missing it. But he's given an incredible lift to the Spurs tonight, and he has still been able to do a terrific job defensively on Kobe Bryant.
Inside of a minute here in the third, Lakers trying to do anything they can to whittle away at this 31-point deficit. Kobe kicks it out to Rush. Manson inside is fouled by Ginobili.
Pretty good ball movement by the Lakers, and they wind up with a nice attempt inside going to the basket. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with doing that on a consistent basis? Move the ball, penetrate a little bit, create some easy offense.
Phil Jackson kind of just watching with mouth agape. Not one of those coaches who believes in taking a lot of timeouts to try to stem the tide of another team or anything like that. Believes he can let a veteran team with players work themselves out of whatever problems they'll have.
Yeah, and it's been effective over the years that Phil's been in Los Angeles.
Coming up Friday here on ESPN, we'll have Game 3 from L.A. Then Game 4 on Sunday afternoon. And Shaquille O'Neal going to come to the bench, take a seat. And Madsen makes 1 of 2. Madsen came in shooting only 41%, 41.7 from the free throw line, and now lots of whistles here as we get late into the third quarter. Gennaro Pargo picking up the foul there in the backcourt, trying to play aggressive defense.
Yeah, and he's come into the game and been aggressive and try to make full speed. It's made things happen full speed. And yeah, he's going to make mistakes, but coaches can live with that if they're full speed mistakes. And Pargo has come in aggressively, which is what you need to do. And it's too bad that his teammates haven't followed suit, because I don't think they've been aggressive enough.
Now, you don't want to get to a situation where we talk about quitting or throwing in the towel here, but how much down by this margin, 32, do you even play Shaq and Kobe coming down the stretch here in the fourth quarter to try to get back into this thing?
Well, I think you have to, because, again, it's the playoffs. And what are you going to save these guys for? So play them and try to get them on track and try to get their anger up a little bit and their intensity up and the whole team's intensity up. Because certainly no team wants to be embarrassed in a playoff situation, especially a team that's won 3 straight championships.
Willis got a nice feed underneath from Ginobili, but lost the ball out of bounds on his way up.
So you know what? Play the horses and play him the rest of the way. Who else is he going to play? He doesn't have a whole lot of players left on his bench anyway.
Kobe will hold and try to get the last shot off and whittle away at this 30-point deficit.
A good defense by Steven Jackson that time.
And Kobe launches one over Kevin Willis and got it to fall, so Kobe Bryant ends the third quarter with a three-pointer. And the Lakers have whittled away at that 30-point deficit. It's now 27, still a big mountain to climb as we begin the fourth quarter in just a moment. NBA playoff coverage continuing right here on ESPN.
Way down the line at third. Chop ball. Tough play. Casey Blake a bare hand and a throw. Got him to keep it 5-4 Cleveland.
Take him right here, David. Down ball. Hands low. Can he make the play? And they get him.
7 last game.
Ground ball down at third. And Williams makes a stop long throw. And gets him out.
He reminded me of that. Regardless of where you stand on the issue, the booth is not the place to do it.
Wow, Christensen, what a recovery in front of Everett. The two fielders just kind of staring at each other for a moment.
That's one of the better plays you'll see right there.
World Supercross GP, only on ESPN.
Takes a step and finishes it off.
In the overtime, here is Richards with it. Gets a shot away. Watches it from Doris down. Rebound. Where is it? Underneath him and not across the goal line. Oh, how close was that?
Can you believe that?
Yeah, very good point. As Williams' shot is rejected and driven out of bounds by Jerome Moiso.
That'll drop it. Short-handed. The other end. Have it and roll and score! Mistimed by Jaguar!
The upset here. 12-1 coming down to the line. And the gutsy Gelding Sunnyside has won the 129th Kentucky Derby with jockey Jose Santos aboard.
The truest test of strength, stamina, and character. ESPN presents the International Ironman Triathlon. Top athletes in endurance sports compete around the globe. on the most demanding courses ever. The Ironman Triathlon World Championship on ESPN.
ESPN presents the champions of the world throughout the months of May and June. ESPN brings you the best in sports from around the globe. The Indy 500, UEFA Champions League Final, Roland Garros, the Stanley Cup Finals, NBA Finals, and the U.S. Open are all coming up right here on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So stay tuned to us for all of that live coverage. And right now, fourth quarter, about ready to start. The Spurs up by 27 over the Lakers, 94-67. 94 points, Rick Weitzman, through three quarters. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It just 94 points is a ton of points to give up, and it just illustrates what I've been saying all along. The Lakers just have not gotten it done defensively. The Spurs have been able to dictate whatever they wanted to do offensively, they've been able to do. And look at that.
Speed from Claxton into Willis.
I mean, that's a nice little pick and roll. But Kevin Willis winds up with an easy, uncontested lay-in. That should never happen, certainly not in a playoff situation.
Now with a 40-year-old, Willis still in great shape, obviously. And Madsen crashing through bodies. Who will they call a foul on? They call a loose against a white shirt. Much to the chagrin of Kevin Willis, who's out there.
Mitch Kupchak, the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers, I'm sure he's stunned as well with the performance of his team. There are no answers. I mean, what are you going to say? Your team just came out and pulled a stinker in a big game.
Ginobili trying to dribble through two long-arm defenders and could not. Panero and then Ginobili hustling back on defense. Fargo, I should say.
Pretty good pass on the fast break to Kareem Rush, but the Spurs, everything's going right, and they hustled back on defense and got into
and Ginobili gets in the way and gets a steal. Claxton up short on the lay-in. Madsen bumped from behind, no foul, and back and forth they go. Fargo knocks down the three.
Well, he's come in and played pretty well for the Lakers. I've been impressed with what he's done so far.
And Fargo now has a 5. Three-pointer was his first field goal of the second half. And the deficit is 26 for the Lakers. And they get a turnover on Jackson in the backcourt, who lost control of it.
Well, what the Lakers want to do is finish out this game aggressively, setting the tone and doing the things that they should be doing and should have done all along. There you see Fargo getting a little too confident, shooting a three and coming up with nothing but air.
So far, we've played about a minute 40 and counting of the fourth quarter. No Kobe or Shaq been out there yet. Jackson trying to drive between a lot of purple shirts.
Yeah,
and he gets fouled.
And no Duncan down this end either for the Spurs. So we're seeing a lot of the Scribinis in the game.
Scribinis, I love it.
But I mean, you know, it's really important. This is a blowout so far, but it's really important for the Lakers to put something together. The Spurs are a team susceptible to runs, and you know, I think it's imperative for the Lakers to put a run on. There you see Peter M. Holt, the owner of the Spurs. He's got to be a happy individual right about now.
Fargo, nice little wraparound pass. Good ball movement for the Lakers, resulting in an open look from Brian Shaw, who left the three-pointer short. And we get another loose ball situation and a foul called on San Antonio.
But you know what? From this Laker lineup that's in there now, not a whole lot of frontline players or talent right now, but they are playing hard, and they are getting after it and taking it to the Spurs. And you know, that's Phil Jackson is going to look at this in the film work, point to his starters and say, why can't you approach the game the way these guys are approaching it?
Kareem Rush trying to put it on the floor, and Manu Ginobili gets a long arm in there and slaps it out of bounds once again. And we have seen an awful lot of that from him tonight.
How many balls does he get his hands on in the passing lane and off the dribble? It's amazing.
Rush off balance three and gets that one to fall. And Kareem Rush knocking down another one. He has 6, all on three-pointers tonight. 96-73 game.
Now the Spurs are being passive, and they're not dictating offensively what they want to do because the Lakers have improved their intensity on the defensive end.
And Kevin Willis going inside and going to work against Madsen.
Did he call glass on that, Eric?
I don't know if he called the bank being open, but he really knew what he was doing going across the lane. Here's Rush stepping back for another three. Left that one short.
Yeah, but you don't want to settle for those. You want to take the ball to the basket and get something done.
Claxton all the way down inside to Willis, who lays it in.
Nice
Willis,
job.
Offensive option number 1 so far for the Spurs with the Scribinis in the game with 8.5 to go.
But a nice effort by Speedy Claxton, penetrating and dishing. There you go. No fall away. Take it strong to the basket.
Ryan Shaw shows him how it's done.
You need the old 37-year-old veteran to do that. Take it to the hoop. You know the Spurs don't want to foul, so take it right at him.
Ryan Shaw with 6 points. Got the starting nod tonight with Devin George out with that severe ankle sprain. Of course, Rick Fox with the tendon injury in the foot out for the remainder of the playoffs. Danny Ferry comes up shooting from the far wing. And here's Pargo for 3.
Don't settle for that, though. Take the ball to the basket.
Well, I guess they don't play a whole lot. So
no, but you know what? How are you going to earn playing time unless when you get in there you do things the right way? Now, very interesting what Phil Jackson is doing with Shaq and Kobe. Will they make another appearance in this game? Maybe not.
It's 1 part adrenaline, 2 parts skill, and all the speed you can handle. The NHL on ESPN. From the first drop of the puck to the Stanley Cup. Your hockey home all season long. The NHL on ESPN. If it happens in hockey, it happens on ESPN.
You can't stop congratulating us.
I'm hearing all about that, and I love Liverpool fans. Believe me, I do.
You're doing a great job.
America is not set up for producing players and pushing them through a system.
Your comments are always fantastic.
I thought you were a traditionalist, Eddie. How could you tamper with the rules like that?
The ideal combination.
Hey, it's live television. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
Press Pass, every Friday on ESPN.
Real Madrid. 100 years of history. 9 European Cup titles. 28 Spanish League titles. 17 Spanish Cup titles. FIFA Team of the 20th Century. Real Madrid, good enough to play in the world's best league. The UEFA Champions League on ESPN. By invitation only.
ESPN brings the NBA playoffs to the next level. Sixers Pistons, the conference semifinals on ESPN.
Welcome back to the SBC Center. Eric Clemens and Rick Weitzman. San Antonio, a comfortable 25-point lead, 7:45 to go. You can join ESPN as the 2003 NBA playoffs continue. Allen Iverson and the Sixers look to even the score after dropping Game 1 to Ben Wallace and the Pistons. Game 2 live on ESPN. Check your local listings for the time in your areas. Allen Iverson going to try to get his team back into that one against the Pistons and Ben Wallace. Pistons win it in Game 1, led by Richard Hamilton, Rip Hamilton. scoring 25.
Yeah, but a key in that one will be the health of Chauncey Billups.
Yeah.
Because he's been a definite factor for the
What
Pistons.
an unbelievable score. I think at the time of his injury, he had 24. SportsCenter coming up next, Latin America only. You'll get the recap of the full day in sports. See the highlights from the other NBA game of the night. New Jersey going up 2-0 against Boston. And looks like both teams pretty content to leave the big guns on the bench for the final 7:45 of this one.
Well, I can see certainly the Spurs philosophy. No need to keep your horses in there. But it's very interesting from the Lakers' perspective. And they've inserted Kobe Bryant back into the lineup, because do you let your two studs sit and stew on the bench for the remainder of this, or do you keep them on the bench to rest their legs, knowing you're going to need them from serious minutes the rest of the way?
Steven Jackson moves around Kobe and comes up with the steal.
Yeah, or do you put them back in the game and let them save a little face by trying to get something out of this game?
Kobe almost coming up with the steal that time, knocks it out of bounds, and he's out there hustling, sending a message to his teammate Steve Smith into the game for the first time tonight. Another
12 years in the league.
Another long-in-the-tooth veteran.
Yes, he is. But those are the guys you want on your bench in playoff situations, because those are the guys that will come in at a moment's notice and get the job done.
Danny Ferrier, that little push set shot. Kobe Bryant picking up the foul against Jackson off the dribble. Kobe Bryant, 24 points so far in the game. Shaquille O'Neal may be done for the evening with his 27. And no other Lakers yet approaching double figures.
Or probably even close.
And you got Kareem Rush, who's thrown in a couple threes this quarter. And Kobe has that one deflected at half court. Now it's a 2-on-1. Claxton puts it in and give him one on the foul on Pargo.
Everything is falling right for the Spurs. They're deflecting passes. I cannot remember ever seeing as many balls deflected, as many passes deflected as we've seen tonight between Ginobili and Jackson and Speedy Claxton. It's been incredible, and what that says about the Lakers is that they're not into it and focusing on every single pass.
Oh, that's a nice looking drive by Pargo. That time he has 7. And it's a 104-77 game as they try to play out the final 6:20. Lakers showing a little token pressure.
If I'm Phil Jackson, I like what I'm seeing with Gennaro Pargo. The kid has come in and played hard and gotten some things done.
And Speedy Claxton now has 13 points. Played very well here down the stretch.
He certainly has. He's played well every time he's been in there.
Pargo picking up the foul on Claxton, and we have a timeout on the floor. 29-point San Antonio lead, 5:57 to go. As both teams will play it out, and Lakers appear to have pretty much conceded. Game 2 belongs to the Spurs.
Night Finals, every week, only on ESPN.
They don't go easily. Steve Nash checking in. Nash defending against McGinnis. Lost the ball with Van Exel. Plenty of time for the Mavericks. And here's the alley-oop to the 50.
It's like hitting a golf shot fast, really fast.
Lemieux got it in. Morrow trying to back it up. Shot saved. Jaguar. Oh my gosh. There are still miracles left. The signal is no goal. Jaguar right to left.
Corey Sharp ever have an outstanding game. Oh, look at that line change. Gomez breaking
Let ESPN take you on an undersea adventure on Diving Passport. Explore a world beneath the waves off the most exotic ports of call. Diving Passport, only on ESPN.
Everyone is ready to travel to Texas because the Hills Country Club, with its 36 championship holes by Jack Nicklaus design, will be the scene for the best tour players to compete for the Kinko's Classic. Saturday on ESPN.
Coming up on ESPN, Spanish football presented by Goodyear. Recreativo have advanced to the Copa del Rey final and have made a late charge to avoid relegation, I should say. Real Madrid on course to win the league title behind superstars Zinedine Zidane and Ronaldo. Mexico and Deportivo, led by La Liga's leading scorer Roy McKay, are 1 point behind Real Madrid in the race for the league title. Malaga are in 9th place and are 1 point behind Mallorca and the Athletic for the final of the UEFA Cup spot. That's all coming up right here on ESPN Spanish football presented by Goodyear. And back at the SBC Center in San Antonio, the Spurs with a 29-point lead over the Lakers. And just coasting home, really, both these teams. The Lakers are going to have to revamp and regroup a little bit and try to get Devin George healthy if they can, to give them another body to use and really go home and play for a lot of pride. And you know they have it, the 3-time defending champs.
Well, I think they have to make some serious adjustments defensively and to light a fire under their players. There you see Jim Boeheim, the head coach at Syracuse University, the NCAA champion Syracuse University.
And be minus Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
One of the better freshman players I've seen play in a long time.
Oh, he's a terrific player. And but you know what? Jim Boeheim doesn't get enough credit for the job he does year in and year out. Syracuse is always winning at least 20 games a year and into the NCAA tournament. Terrific guy, Jim Boeheim, and he really does a terrific job. And my youngest daughter is a graduate of Syracuse, so she made me say all these nice things about Jim Boeheim.
Steven Jackson gets fouled driving the lane, so he'll go to the line and shoot a couple. And Steven Jackson, with the headband and all, going to go to the line for his first couple free throw attempts of the game. He has 7.
Great story for the Spurs, Steven Jackson. Young kid, came out of high school, either went to Arizona for a brief time or was going to go there, came into the NBA, struggled for a number of years, bounced around a couple of different situations, wound up here with the Spurs and won the starting 2-guard job, did a great job for them all year long.
Kareem Rush has a three-pointers here in the fourth quarter. And now Kobe Bryant really creating some havoc against Steve Smith in the backcourt. Smith thought he was mugged, but no foul call. And the Lakers now down by 25, really coming down, firing up the threes to try to get back in the contest.
Now, people are still seeing Jim Boeheim in your picture, and people don't realize that he was a pretty good basketball player at Syracuse. Played in the same backcourt with a legend, Dave Bing, back in the day. And Jim Boeheim could shoot the basketball, let me tell you.
And so could Dave Bing, one of the smoothest ball handlers you could ever want to see.
What a great player he was.
I'd love to hear the announcer say his name when he made a basket. Dave Bing.
Now you're dating yourself.
Yeah,
I
dated myself a little bit. Like one of my childhood heroes. I was only 4 or 5.
Well, I hate to tell you, but Dave Bing was the toughest player I ever had to cover.
Her a long 3, a little bit short. As fans just want to see some of their favorites get in the scoring column now.
Yeah, let's clear the bench time and let the guys have some fun out there on the floor. And the Spurs have earned it.
That was Kareem Rush, and Rush at garbage time picking up a lot of points. He has 11. Only other Laker in double figures beside Kobe and Shaq. And that one stolen away from Steve Smith. Rush trying for another three. Medvedenko on the offensive glass and puts it back up and in.
Well, what Phil Jackson is looking for here is somebody to give him a ray of hope that he might be able to use in a key situation down the road.
That one blocked that time by Samaki Walker. Steve Kerr tried to go in for a layup. Lakers down by 21. Been a long time since it was inside of a 20-point deficit. Cargo. Off the glass.
He didn't call that, I can guarantee you. He did not call the window on that shot. But it counts
in double
anyway.
figures now with that three-pointer. Here's Jackson, fouled hard by Medvedenko. He'll go to the line as the Lakers have really trimmed away at it. Now it's only an 18-point game, but only 3:06 to go. And Shaquille O'Neal, big guy, still on the bench, 27 points through 3 quarters of this game.
Well,
has not played here in the
fourth.
fourth.
Lakers may have trimmed away at it, but I don't sense that the Spurs feel they're in any danger of losing this game. So, you know, the lead might have disintegrated, but, you know, and coaches are never comfortable until the game is over. But I don't think Mr. Popovich is overly concerned. There you see P.J. Carlissimo, who signed on this year as an assistant with the Spurs, giving them some more experience on the bench.
Kareem Rush driving down the lane. That one knocked out of bounds. It'll be Spurs ball. 2:51 to play, and we have a timeout on the floor. The Spurs comfortably ahead by 20, and they're about to go up 2-0 in this series. 20 and 20. You get the play on numbers there?
ESPN goes spanning the globe this May to bring you the world of sports. The NBA keeps slamming and jamming when the march to the finals continues with playoff action. The UEFA Champions League concludes the march to glory with the championship game from Old Trafford. The most famous race of them all is the Indy 500 from the Brickyard in Indianapolis. The Stanley Cup Finals begin in the coolest game on ice, the NHL on ESPN. Dutch football plays on from the fields of Holland. The legends of cricket highlight the game's classic matches. The rugged play of the Scottish football season continues. Great action this May on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. The truest test of strength, stamina, and character. ESPN presents the International Ironman Triathlon. Top athletes in endurance sports compete around the globe on the most demanding courses ever. The Ironman Triathlon World Championship on ESPN.
ESPN brings you the fastest quarter mile in all of sports, NHRA drag racing. Feel the power as these high-octane land rockets risk everything for speed. NHRA drag racing on ESPN.
Don't miss all the fast-paced, high-flying action of the THQ World Supercross every week on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Well, we are 110 to 90 right now. The Spurs about to take a 2-0 lead in that series. This Western Conference semifinal. And coming up after basketball in Latin America, Sports Center. We'll recap the full day in sports, all the news headlines from around the globe. Tonight, following basketball right here on ESPN. Of course, we'll recap both the NBA games. Again, another solid all-around effort from Tim Duncan. Wasn't needed to score the ball that much, but 12 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists.
No,
not
you're
bad.
right. He didn't have to do too much because other guys like Bruce Bowen and Tony Parker certainly stepped up and were important factors in this game, and it took some pressure off Duncan. He did not have to carry the whole load.
Claxton now with 15 points.
Speedy Claxton's done a terrific job in this game. He really has. Came in and ran the ball and pushed the ball up the floor. But what a game for Bruce Bowen. What'd you say? He had 27 points.
Team playoff record, 7 3-pointers.
Yeah, this has been his game. Put this one in the bank, Bruce, and bring it out and show your grandkids, hey, your old man could shoot the ball a little bit.
Speaking of old men, and he shot that one like an old man, but Kevin Willis at garbage time has 8 points in the game. Miscalculated the distance from the basket that time, and Medvedinko comes up shooting. He has 4.
A very somber Lakers bench, knowing that they have their work cut out for them. That just by going back to L.A. and playing on a home court, that will not solve their problems. They've got some work to do on the defensive end to get control of this series.
Willis, the jump hook, rolled around, did everything but fall for him. And now Rush. An air ball from three-point range, and the Spurs will get it back. 92 seconds to go in this one. Pretty much decided except the final margin of victory for the San Antonio Spurs here in Game 2. They'll go up 2-0 and head back to L.A. in the Staples Center for Games 3 and 4.
Yeah, but make no mistake about it, regardless of what the final score becomes, this was a blowout and an embarrassing loss for the Lakers.
Danny Ferry from long range, and Danny Ferry, to give him a 2 on that one. And Ferry, his first 2 points of the second half, he has 5 for the game. He did have a first half 3-point. Samaki Walker going to make his efforts to get in the scoring column. Cannot with that shot. And the San Antonio Spurs, of course, really ignited by the long-range shooting early of Bruce Bowen, but just tremendous balance. Again, they didn't need Tim Duncan to score the ball that much. David Robinson didn't score in the first half at all. Not that late in his career he's been a huge scorer anyway, but usually the Admiral will take a few more shots than that and try to get on the scoreboard early. But great balance. 27 for Bowen unofficially there. And the 7 3-pointers is official, a team record. Manu Ginobili
was a spark, no question about it. I forgot about him. He did a terrific job. It was just a situation, Eric, that the Spurs were able to do whatever they wanted to do offensively with little or no resistance from the Lakers. And, when your offense is that easy, and you get more people involved, and you don't have to work real hard. And that's exactly what the Spurs did. They were flowing, they were making shots, they were making passes. They weren't doing anything wrong. Everything was going right for them.
Pargo, open three-pointer from the near side, and Pargo with 13 points. He has 3 3-pointers here at trash time. Steve Smith. And now the Spurs can hold it for the remainder of the game. No shot clock.
No, and they'll hold it. They won't shoot it. They don't want to rub salt into a wound and give the Lakers anything to hold on to for the next game.
All right, and there it is, your final. San Antonio beating the Lakers by 19. 114-95. And the Spurs move to 6-0 on the season against the Lakers, including the playoffs. So the Lakers have a lot of work to do. Remember, 2 of the 4 games in the regular season, they did not have Shaquille O'Neal. But look at the bracket now. San Antonio going up 2-0. Remember, Game 3 coming up Friday right here on ESPN, and the other semifinal, Sacramento wins handily in Dallas in Game 1, and the Spurs seem to be fresh, and the Mavericks seem to be still beat up a little bit from that first series.
Well, if the Lakers didn't feel a sense of urgency in this game, they'd better feel it for the next game, because right now their backs are to the wall and they have to win Game 3.
Sports Center is coming up. Sorry, Rick, in Latin American only on ESPN. Bruce Bowen, the big guy tonight, 27 points, a team record, 7 3-pointers. This has been a special presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For Rick Weitzman, I'm Eric Clemens. Spurs 114-95. Have a great evening, everyone.
The Minnesota Wild had their backs to the wall in Game 5 against Vancouver. Facing elimination for the 4th time in these playoffs, the Wild came out firing on all cylinders. Goals and a full-fledged thrashing of the Canucks later, Minnesota had survived only to face elimination again, and this time the Canucks mean business. Welcome to the Stanley Cup Playoffs on ESPN, presented by Nextel, and the fans here mean business at XL Energy Center. Game 6 of the Western semifinals. If the home team Wild win, Game 7 tomorrow night in Vancouver. If the Canucks win, they're preparing for Game 1 Saturday in the Western Conference Finals against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Hi, everybody. Dave Strader along with Brian Engblom, and we'll be joined shortly by Dave Ryan down at Ice Side. They did it in the first round against the Avalanche, down 3-1, so we shouldn't be surprised the Wild won a Game 5 on the road. But the team that ranked 24th in the National Hockey League on offense in the regular season, Brian, became the first team in the playoffs to score 7. That was a surprise.
Minnesota wanted to go into it scrappy, and they certainly did that. Most of their team is hit and run, but there's one guy who will stand and fight, and that's Willie Mitchell. He's wearing a full face shield because he's got a fractured cheek. He also had a bad wrist, but he led this team, and they followed them. They were scrappy. They tried to beat up Vancouver and did a good job of it. And back on the blue line on the power play, Cliff Ronning just exuded confidence. Oh, by the way, he also got 2 goals scored. The offense from Minnesota was surprising to absolutely everybody, and they want to carry it through to this game.
Dan Cloutier, the #1 goaltender for the Canucks, gave up 6 of those goals. Second time in the playoffs he's given up 6, Brian. He bounced back from Game 1 when he did it against St. Louis. It'll be a tall order here tonight.
Well, he's always been a scrapper, but he's worked a lot on his technique this year, and that's going to help him in this situation because he let in some pretty bad goals. Yes, he didn't get a whole lot of support. Everything was going wrong for Vancouver, but Cloutier will definitely have to recover in this game. He got pulled after the second period, and by the time he was done, he was definitely pretty frustrated. So was this guy. Jovanovski was a -4. One of the best defensemen in the National Hockey League in my mind. He's got 6 goals in the playoffs, 4 in this series. He's capable of the big hit and the big play. You'll have to do it here tonight.
Not very often that you hear players talk about a guy on the other team as a superstar, but that's the way the Canucks talk about Gaborik. Not just because he scores, but you knock him down, he gets back up.
The leaves on the trees, they are so crowded today. You got the birds and the bees, you got the sun in the way. But when the sun comes out, I'm calling you out to play. And when the sun comes out, I'm calling you out to
Michelin. Discover a new driving experience.
The leaves on the trees, they are so crowded today. You got the birds and the bees, you got the sun in the way. But when the sun comes out, I'm calling you out to play.
Michelin. Discover a new driving experience.
Finishes it off.
In the overtime, here is Richards with it. Gets the shot away. Rises up from Doris. Down. Rebound. Where is it? Underneath him and not across the goal line. Oh, how close was that?
Can you believe that?
Now,
Yeah, very good point as Williams' shot is rejected and driven out of bounds by Jerome Moiso.
That'll drop it. Short-handed. The other end. Hamilton rolled and scores! Misplayed by Jaguar. The upset here. 12-1 coming down to the line. And the gutsy Gelding Sunnyside has won the 129th Kentucky Derby with jockey Jose Santos aboard.
ESPN brings the NBA playoffs to the next level. Sixers Pistons, the conference semifinals on ESPN.
Welcome to the studio. John Saunders, Barry Melrose, and one piece of the puzzle for the Final Four remains. Now, Minnesota got to be feeling pretty good. They've already 4 times now fought off elimination, try to make it 5 tonight.
But the bad news is they're at home where they've been terrible. They've only won 1 game at home. But the bottom line is Vancouver's got all the pressure in the world on them. If Minnesota loses tonight, they've had an unbelievable season. So they can play with aggressiveness. They can play with some fire. They can take some chances. Vancouver, on the other hand, if they lose this game and lose this series, they're going to be called chokers. They're going to be called underachievers. They're going to be called guys that can't get the job done. So Vancouver is in a pretty enviable position right now, John.
All right, 7-2 to lose at home and a chance to get things done is ridiculous. This guy, big reason why the series is still going on. Marian Gaborik, 9 playoff goals. That's tops in the NHL. Canucks Wild up next.
Line into left center field. Sliding cat. Line goes up. A-Rod way down the line to third. Chop ball. Tough play. Casey Blake a bare hand and a throw. Got him to keep it 5-4 Cleveland.
Taking right here, David. Down ball. Hands low. Can he make the play? And they get it.
7 last game. Ground ball down to third. And Williams makes a stomach long throw. And knocks him out.
He reminded me of that. Regardless of where you stand on the issue, the booth is not the place to do it.
Wow, Christensen, what a recovery. In front of Everett, the 2 fielders just kind of staring at each other for a moment.
That's one of the better plays you'll see right there.
The IRL IndyCar Series races on. Defending champion Elio Castroneves will go for his 3rd consecutive win. The Indy 500 Pole Day, Sunday, live on ESPN.
Stanley Cup Playoffs on ESPN, presented by Nextel. This ESPN exclusive presentation brought to you by Nextel. Life's better when your cell phone has a walkie-talkie. And in part by Dodge, the official road team of the NHL. Grab life by the horns. Dodge. Bud Light, the proud sponsor of the NHL. And Southwest Airlines. More than 2,700 nonstop daily flights to 59 destinations all across the country.
And welcome back to XL Energy Center here in St. Paul, Minnesota. Western Conference Semifinals Stanley Cup Playoffs here on ESPN, presented by Nextel. And Dwayne Rollison, yes, they use the rotating goaltender system here, but Jacques Lemaire has never made a switch in these playoffs after a win. That's what Dwayne Rollison had in Game 5. He is the only one of the 2 Minnesota goaltenders that has beaten Vancouver this year, regular season or playoffs. And Dan Cloutier, as we talked about at the top, Brian, has to bounce back from his worst game after calling Game 4 his best game of the playoffs.
Well, that's right. The whole team played their worst game by far, too. So Dan Cloutier is not in the boat by himself.
And there's been one other lineup change for the Vancouver Canucks that we'll talk about. Sammy Salo, the veteran defenseman, has been scratched. Nolan Baumgartner, who is out there in the starting lineup wearing number 4.
I'm not aware of any injury to Sammy Salo, so I'm not sure what this is about or whether Mark Crawford just want to shake things up a little.
Here come the Canucks. Now looking to establish their physical game. Bertuzzi is out there starting with Ruutu and Linden, and now players start to gather around Todd Bertuzzi. He's used to that. And let's go to the 3rd member of our crew, Dave Ryan.
All right, Dave Schrader, thanks so much. If you talk to some of the Minnesota Wild players, they firmly believe that when the pressure is on, they play their best hockey. When one loss could mean the end of their season, they respond, and the numbers certainly back that up this year. They played so well with the pressure on. With a win tonight in Game 6, they'll join some elite company in NHL playoff history. Only the 75 Islanders will be ahead of the Wild with more elimination game wins, and Cliff Ronning has a chance to do it twice. 5 elimination game wins in his career. Did it with Vancouver in '94, Dave.
That's right. He's a scrapper, a battler. He was benched in this series in Game 3. Told reporters later, I'm not even thinking about that. I'm moving on. And how did he respond in Game 5? Had 2 of the 7 goals and leading the way for a franchise offensive output, franchise record for the Minnesota Wild now as the Canucks look to come out of their own zone. Matthias Olin able to muscle it to center ice. Sekarash, number 77, drops it back. A lazy pass. Naslund with the backhander save. Rollinson. And now at the side of the net, Rollinson has to have it covered up. Marcus Naslund.
Looks like it's going to be just as scrappy as it was in the last game, but Vancouver is the one who's taken it to Minnesota early on here, trying to see if Minnesota has some bad nerves and a little bit of a giveaway here. Maybe they do have the bad nerves. You don't want to give Marcus Naslund too many chances, one of the best scorers in the league. Ended up second in total points to Peter Forsberg for the regular season. So Forsberg comes in, gets it to the backhand, and good job by Dwayne Rollinson there. There was no opening at all.
Face off here in the Wild zone. Minnesota controls. It comes to center ice. Sergei Zholtok. He drives it in deep. Cloutier out to handle it. That's something we'll keep an eye on, and a little bit of a miscommunication there. Park got a stick on it, dropped it back to Zuzan, who could not control it. Matt Cook leaps the rush the other way. Cook takes a shot. Save Rollinson. Gave up a rebound. Picked up by Trevor Letowski. He sends it back in deep. Cook has it there. Sends it back out toward the point. Intercepted by Park, and Richard Park will just hoist it out into the neutral zone.
Vancouver's definitely not trying to make any big plays into the middle of the ice. 2 of their shots so far look almost exactly the same. They're just going wide, shooting the puck at the net, trying to use a defenseman as a screen, and maybe they can get somebody to the net after the fact. Mark Crawford had to rally his troops most definitely after Game 5, and it's the second time that he's had to do it in these playoffs. Career playoff record 40-34, and he won Stanley Cup with the Colorado Avalanche back in '96.
Brian Burke, who was the president and general manager of the Vancouver Canucks, said after that first-round series against St. Louis, the best move he's made since coming to Vancouver wasn't a player personnel move. It was the hiring of Mark Crawford, and they have improved in each of the 4 full seasons that Crawford's been at the helm. As now here is Bertuzzi in that battle with Willie Mitchell that's been going on most of this series. Out to the line, Baumgartner could not control.
Willie Mitchell's really the only guy that's been battling Bertuzzi a lot physically. Todd Bertuzzi said this morning they've been playing position against me down low. Bertuzzi gets double teamed a lot of times, but there's not a lot of physical action against him except number 2 in white, Willie Mitchell. He's willing to stand up to him, but Mitchell's still giving away about 30, 35 pounds to Bertuzzi. It's not a task you want to have to handle, especially when you got a bad right wrist like Mitchell does and a fractured cheekbone. That's why he's wearing that mask.
Wow. Jovanovski slides it across. And Jovanovski trying to come back from his career worst game in terms of plus-minus. He was a -4. Brad May trying to clear the zone. He's checked there by Jim Dowd. Mason Marshall sends it around the boards of the Vancouver zone. The Canucks able to get to it. Trevor Linden backhand pass ahead for May. He'll go in against Brad Brown. The two of them collide deep in the Minnesota zone. Now Trevor Linden with it. Linden centering pass.